Do I have enough money for retirement? That is perhaps the most universally asked financial planning question and arguably gave rise to the financial planning industry. So with that being said, let's get into it. How do you know if you have enough money for retirement? Hi everybody, Patrick Donnelly here. I'm a certified financial planner and the founder of Donnelly Financial Services. So as I had alluded to, for many of us, we will arrive at some point where we ask ourselves that seemingly simple question of, do I have enough money for retirement? And as many of you probably have guessed or would assume, the answer is, it's fairly complicated. We're all so unique in our own retirement planning situations, our own desired retirement lifestyle, that there's not one catch-all number or answer that can be applied broadly across the board. What this video hopes to help you with is answering that process by taking a methodical approach or implementing a process in order to arrive at a fairly concrete answer for yourself of, do you have enough money for retirement? And so the way I would encourage you to start is really on the expense side. What does that retirement vision look like? What does your desired retirement lifestyle look like? We start here because we simply have more historical data on the spending side of the equation. We know personally what our monthly budgets look like. We have years and years of data of how our spending habits have played out. And so taking that and using historical retiree financial data, we found that you can expect to spend anywhere from 80 to 100% of your pre-retirement expenses in retirement. So what does that mean exactly? It means that whether you think it or not, you're more than likely to not deviate from your previous spending habits all that much throughout retirement. So if you were fairly frugal throughout your working years, your accumulation years, it turns out that you tend to be fairly frugal even throughout retirement, even if you have a very large nest egg built out. It also shows that if you think that your spending habits are going to, your expenses are going to drastically drop now that you're in retirement, that doesn't tend to be the case. And so just based off the historical data, as said, you should start by assuming that you're going to spend anywhere from 80 to 100% of whatever you were spending pre-retirement. Okay, great. So by just simply looking at previous expenditure history, you could very quickly get an idea of what you will be spending on a monthly and annual basis throughout your retirement. From there, we move to the other side of the equation. We're trying to match up our income sources with that desired lifestyle or that desired expense level. And so, what we're trying to do here is really answer that question of, how much do I need saved in order to live the way that I want to live in retirement? And in order to answer that question, I would start with fixed income sources. Fixed income sources being things like Social Security, pensions, or perhaps some of you even own annuities. The reason to start here is because we have a great visualization into what these income sources and amounts will look like. You can go on to ssa.gov and find out your Social Security benefits on a monthly basis. You probably have, if you do have pension benefits, you probably have a very good idea of what those monthly pension benefits will look like. And so we consider these fixed income sources because they're just that. They're fixed. They're not going away and they're not changing all that much. As long as you are alive, you will continue to receive these fixed income sources. Now in financial planning, it tends to be the case that you can't cover 100% of your expenses with fixed income sources, which brings us to withdrawing from that retirement nest egg, withdrawing from those assets. When we think about retirement nest eggs, we think about things like 401ks, 403bs, 457 plans, any type of IRA or investment account, essentially any account that you own that you plan on withdrawing from during your retirement, that would be considered a piece of your nest egg. And so in order to understand and really get to the core of do you have enough money to start living the way you want to live in retirement, we really have to focus in on that retirement nest egg. And the point at which I would encourage you to start with is start with the 4% safe withdrawal rule. What the 4% safe withdrawal rule states is that at a rate of withdrawal of 4% annually, you have an above average probability of not running out of money throughout your retirement. Meaning, if you're drawing $40,000 from your $1 million nest egg on an annual basis, that is giving you an above average probability of success of maintaining the longevity of that nest egg, meaning you won't run out of money. Now, the 4% rule certainly has its criticisms. It certainly has a lot of credibility as well. My advice to you is to use the 4% rule as a starting off point. Use it as a jumping off point to begin estimating how much can I theoretically begin drawing from my retirement nest egg on an annual basis, adding that to your fixed income sources whenever they're available to you, and how does that match up versus your desired lifestyle? How do those numbers, those retirement income numbers, match up versus your desired expense numbers? And so it's not a perfect system, but very quickly you can get a sense of where you are relative to being able to afford your desired retirement lifestyle. And so with that kind of foundational knowledge, I encourage you to try this on your own and begin implementing this to see exactly where you are and benchmark yourself in terms of how much money you need for retirement.